Elden Ring Nightreign. I keep forgetting about this. Frankly, I just do. I don't know what's wrong with me, but this is coming out May 30th and I keep spacing it. But it's coming soon, like 2 weeks from now. And there seems to be a pretty dedicated group of people that are excited for it. Even the IGN video that was posted 2 days ago is still getting like 190,000 views. Pretty solid. There is interest. There are people checking it out. This particular thing I want to watch is how Limveld will change from run to run. It'll give us a little breakdown of how they anticipate doing this. But like quick recap for me, just so you know where I'm at. I played the alpha thing that they did, or the beta. I don't remember which they said it was, but I played the playtest when they did it recently. And just transparently for me, I didn't like it. I just didn't. Everything I love about Elden Ring has been taken out, and all this stuff I didn't really love about Elden Ring has been doubled down on. And then other things like copy and pasted enemies and bosses, I'm just not super stoked about that. Like what I love about FromSoft games typically is the sense of exploration. Not really a thing here because that's not what kind of game it is. The build crafting, not really a thing here because it's a roguelite and they have predetermined set paths for progression for each character. So that's just not a thing. I love discovering new bosses and new challenges. With this, there's a set number of bosses and it's not that many. And it's based around these runs that you're going on to try and defeat them with your party. And so you're going to be dealing with the same enemies over and over and over again. To me, that's like every time I try to look for something that this game is doing that's unique or fun or cool, I just fail to find it. And instead I find other things that they've stripped out of the experience that I liked elsewhere. So that means it's just not a game for me, which is okay. Not every game has to be for you. This is just not for me. Okay, but I do keep hoping to see something that gets me excited about it some more. And that's where this video comes in, because they're going to describe how Limveld will change from run to run. And maybe this is going to be exciting enough that maybe it introduces that thing I like, which is the sense of exploration. Maybe there's going to be something here that's added that can make it more exciting. Let's see.
One of the biggest questions left over after Elden Ring Nightreign's network test back in February was, how will the world of Limveld change in the real game? After all, Nightreign is, for all intents and purposes, a roguelite, and one of the core elements of any roguelite is a degree of randomness or procedural generation that ensures that every run feels just a little bit different. Nightreign has that in the loot department, with every run giving you different rewards and forcing you to cobble together a build based on what you're able to find within that run, and also in the enemy and boss department, since none of the boss encounters are static, with the sole exception of the Night Lord battle on day 3. But as far as the world of Limveld, we never really got a chance to see how it changes from run to run during the network test. During my 2 days of playtime at FromSoft's office and over the course of about 10 full runs, I got my answer to that earlier question. Here's how Limveld will change from run to run in Elden Ring Nightreign.
Bring it on, because I think there is an opportunity. How viscous is the flow? Yeah, dude. Now every IGN video feels hollow. It feels lacking in viscosity, frankly, after watching that Death Stranding IGN video. Which, if you're watching this stream clip and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Go watch the recent clip we did on the Death Stranding 2 preview from IGN. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. But anyway, I do think that there is an opportunity with the dynamically changing world for them to do something interesting with Nightreign. I'm excited to see what this is, because at the play test that they did, my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but my understanding is that we had a static map. Nothing changed on it. If it did change, I didn't really notice. But let's see how they actually do it in the final version.
Actually, we jumped the gun. Before we go into the ways that Limveld will change, let's quickly establish what doesn't change. The overall structure of Limveld will not change. The shape of the island, the major geographical features, the positioning of cliffs, rivers, and lakes, all of these will be the same, barring a few major exceptions that we'll cover in just a bit. The locations of Sites of Grace, Everjails, the launching Spirit Springs, cave entrances and exits, the spectral trees and the wind currents, all of these are static and do not change location from run to run. There's also a giant castle that features exceptionally tough battles and big rewards, right smack in the middle of the map that will never change. Everything else, from the locations of all the rest of the points of interest, the types of rewards offered at those points of interest, to the wandering mini-bosses and the bosses that you fight at the end of day 1 and day 2, are left completely up to chance. That said, there are two other huge factors that can completely alter a run. The first are world events known as Shifting Earth.
What the hell is going on with this saturation, my friends? I know. I saw Fiery Phoenix in Twitch chat. Have I missed the usual complaint about IGN video game capture and compression? Here it is, my friend. This might just honestly be the game itself, but I mean, this is one ugly frame. I'll tell you what, this is an ugly frame.
Occasionally, before you even launch into a level,
can we also just take a moment to appreciate Equilibrious Beast? I almost said breast. Equilibrious Breast. What a name for a boss.
be made aware that there is a Shifting Earth modifier in effect.
Okay.
In our playtime, the one we encountered was Crater, which transformed the northern section of the map, placing a giant crater in the middle and rivers of lava all around it. The enemies around and inside the crater are no joke, and wiped the floor with us when we first attempted to even get close enough to investigate the crater on the first day. But investigate it you should, and you should do so as soon as the second day begins, if you're up to the challenge. Exploring the crater took us pretty much the entirety of the second day, but when we did eventually make it all the way to the bottom, we beat a boss that granted us an epic rarity level reward by itself, but then also the unique reward of being able to take any weapon in our arsenal and upgrade it to the maximum level for free.
I like that stuff. That's fun. That's cool. Gives you a reason to go down there. I think with all this, it just... Maybe I should ask it this way. How do you guys remember how much this game costs? 40. Costs 40. How many hours do you need? And I want to hear from everybody in chat. How many hours do you need out of a game that you paid $40 for? A live service game like this where you're playing the same map, but with some modifiers and stuff, multiplayer game with your friends. How many hours do you need out of it to feel like it's worth 40? Like it's in my brain, and maybe this is part of the problem. In my brain, I cannot separate the fact that I have to get two other friends to buy it. So for me, I'm like, it's not just 40, it's like 120 bucks that we're spending to buy into this to enjoy it and play it together. So I expect a good bit more. See 25s, I see 30s, 20, 15 to 20, at least 30, 50 for a game like this, over 100, 20 hours, I reckon. It seems like the average is right around 20 to 40. With some people saying they expect like 150. Trevi Trev, 20, Dragon Killer, 15, Lantern Smite, 150. Greatly depends on the type of game, but for 40, I expect more than 12. Even for a live service game, you'd be willing to spend 40 on a live service game that you only get 12 hours out of? Okay. I mean, I think at the very least, it seems like the average is around 20. And this game splits it into 45-minute runs. So, you know, I would expect that you're getting at least a few dozen runs out of the game to be happy with your investment. And I wonder after like 30, 40, 50 runs, how much variability there will be. And maybe there is enough to get to like 40, 50 hours. Maybe there is, but that also assumes you're doing 40, 50 runs getting all the way to the final boss, which is not something you should necessarily assume. Because when I played it, there were a few runs where we were dead within the first like 5-10 minutes because of, you know, one boss, or we didn't get the drops we needed or whatever else. But it's very niche as a game, as a concept. And so the people that like it, I think, are going to love it. The Elden Ring fans that like roguelite stuff, this is like a dream game for them. But I think for the average FromSoft player, this probably doesn't scratch that same itch. Yeah, 40 hours is 2 to 3 weeks for me. Not too bad for $40. Yeah. I think like, for me, I would hope to get like 20 hours, 25, 30 hours out of it, and then I'd be happy. But less than that, I start to really question whether or not it's worth $40, you know? But stuff like this is exciting.
Because in order to escape the crater, you need to use a bunch of spectral trees and ride the hawks from platform to platform as you try to escape. which will certainly lead to nail-biting escape sequences when you take too long in the crater and now must race against the clock to get out while the circle closes in around you. The other big way that runs can change are through the appearances of certain events that seem to occur completely randomly and can throw a huge wrench into an otherwise routine run. I've seen only a couple of these, and some might be familiar with the Margit invasion from the network test, in which Margit the Fell will just all of a sudden jump into your game and just mercilessly hunt your squad down wherever they are. But a new one that I encountered involved the appearance of a swirling tornado-like phenomenon in the sky. When our squad approached it, we were suddenly attacked by a very tough group of AI-controlled Nightfarers who seemingly invaded us from another world. Like typical NPC invasions in Elden Ring, these enemies were smarter and hit a lot harder than typical enemies, making it another big risk-reward consideration to explore the areas near one of these ominous swirling tornadoes in the sky. The most impactful of all of these random events, though, was the appearance of a mysterious boss that would attack from miles away with mortar shots of level-sapping bugs. That's right, get hit even just once by these telegraphed mortar strikes, and you lose a level. It's not even limited to just losing one. Get hit again, he'll take another level from you. The only way to get those levels back is to find and kill the boss by following the bugs to his hiding spot. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of this, nor do I know what the reward is for killing him, because by the time we found the boss by following the bugs, the circle had started encroaching, and we just wouldn't have been able to kill him before the circle killed us.
And this is one of those, like, some people love this. To me, that would be infuriating. Like, to me, if I was on a good run, and then I'd get invaded like with a 1 in 10 chance or a 1 in 100 chance type of drop, and then they just take my levels, and so now I'm so underleveled I can't compete. Like, I might destroy a controller, and I don't even do that. I think I would explode. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Sagittarius. Some people love it. Some people absolutely love it, but yeah, it's funny because watching these types of games and looking at these types of games is always really interesting, because it's like something that to me sounds so miserable, other people are like, oh, that's awesome. And I just find that interesting, because I'm sure there's games that I like where I'm like, I love that, and they're like, that sucks ass. It's just different tastes, you know?
Not gonna lie, it was pretty soul crushing to have to just give up on those levels that he stole from us, and it really kind of doomed our run from day one. There are certainly more of these that I still haven't encountered, like the Forest of Corruption, the Madness Towers, and more that we see in the overview trailer released by From Software. It's worth mentioning as well that if you don't like the shifting earth modifier that will affect the world, you can use the bed in the round table hold to sleep to either remove the modifier or have it replaced by something else. As devastating as some of these...
Oh. I wonder if there's a limit, like you can only do that once to reset it, or if you can just do it perpetually, because it seems weird to just be able to like re-roll it indefinitely. So it's got to be like a limit of once you can re-roll it or something. Maybe it's per day. It's like 3 re-rolls per day or something. I don't know.
Modifiers can be, I'm nonetheless eagerly anticipate seeing more of them. They inject a healthy level of chaos into what otherwise might start to feel very routine, and led to some great emergent moments with high emotion between me and my squad mates as we raced to escape the crater, or panicked at an unexpected ambush, or felt true despair as we realized the levels that were stolen from us were gone forever. Moments like these are the heart of any good roguelite, and hopefully Nightreign is able to keep them coming at a steady pace. For more...
Yeah, and they have a lot of other stuff, like the class breakdowns and stuff like that. I hope that they got it running better though too, because yeah, it looks a little bit better. It's in the playtest we did, which again is a playtest, so it's not going to be perfect. The initial performance was not very good at all. Like the boss would start doing a lot of AoE or alpha effects and things like that, and it just caused the frame rate to tank like crazy. And so hopefully they polish that up. But I keep forgetting that the game is only like 2 weeks away. It feels like no one's talking about it except for the people that are like pretty deep into it. But you know, maybe that's all this needs, is it just needs the really diehard committed group of 100,000 players or 200,000 players, whatever it is, 1 million players. I don't know what it'll get, but maybe it just needs that really committed group, and that's all they're hoping for and expecting. I expected this to have much broader appeal, hearing that it was an Elden Ring thing after how successful Elden Ring was. But I think that there's going to be a lot of Elden Ring players who might try this and just be like, oh, it feels very, very different from Elden Ring. But there's going to be a lot more of these. Like as the industry moves forward, this is going to be a much more common thing. I think we're going to see the rise of spin-off games, of smaller AA projects and stuff, because doing another big AAA or quadruple A scale game is just so risky and expensive that it's easier to just take a brand everybody knows and do a little spin-off game. I think you'll see it with Assassin's Creed. You're going to see it with, like, I think they've tried to do with Uncharted, for example. There were rumors of the Uncharted spin-off game. They were going to work on the God of War live service game was one that they were working on at, was that Blue Point, I think, was doing that one. And so, like, they're going to keep trying to do this. This is going to be part of the new trend, is just smaller spin-off games from established IPs. So I guess we just got to get used to it. But at the very least, you got to understand when it's
Ronald
not
McDonald
for you.
donated $19.99
Ronald's
through
here?
Super Chat.
Thank you for the 20.
Love
Very
your
generous.
vids. Fist time I've been able to catch you live. Keep her up the good work, pimp.
I will. Shout out Wendy's Chili. Yeah, I appreciate you. That very, very generous $20, and I appreciate you being here. Glad to have you. Yeah, it's sometimes the game's not for you, and I think that this is just one of those games where I'll try it at launch. We'll give it a shot. We can stream it and check it out that way. And maybe there is just gonna be something where it clicks. Because you remember, I didn't like Ghost of Tsushima at launch either. Like my brain just didn't connect with it. And then once they did the 60 FPS update on PS5, I tried it again and fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. For whatever reason, at 30 frames, it wasn't for me. At 60, the combat clicked and I just ate it up. So maybe this is one of those games where the final version just clicks with me, but the playtest didn't. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I would love to have another game to tackle. I'm getting kind of burned out on Marvel Rivals and stuff. Love something new, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's only 2 weeks away. Should try to do Discord member runs. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll do it on stream. And if you're a member of the Discord, you can hop in a waiting room and then we'll just put people into the chat randomly and then we'll party up. I would rather pay $80 for Mafia 4 than $10 for Nightreign, despite loving FromSoft. I just don't want to support the slop. I mean, it does feel kind of like, I don't know if I'd go so far as like slop. I just think without a doubt, I think it's a cash grab on the back of Elden Ring. Like there's a reason this is called Elden Ring Nightreign and not Nightreign. Like they're trying to capitalize on that brand awareness and familiarity. And it might work out very, very well for them. But I think for me, as somebody that primarily is interested in the Elden Ring part of that, as opposed to the Nightreign part, that's why it's just, for me, it's kind of frustrating and disappointing because it's just not at all what I was hoping for. He took my thing. Red flag.